Hey everybody, Brian Von VA. Back at it again with another set of D&D stories today. We're going back to What's Been Your Favorite Moment Between PCs, Part 2. Critical pancake. I didn't know how to play anything other than a barbarian and rolled a rogue. My dex was abysmal. Anywho, this is important for later. I get into a session late and the crew is down having breakfast. I stumble down the stairs and our dwarf barbarian with a strength of 20 throws a pancake to me to get me caught up on breakfast. Nat 20. I roll to catch. Nat 1. Going negative with my abysmal dexterity. It disintegrates on impact with my face, knocks me flat on my ass, and I take a point of damage. It has henceforth become immortalized in our group's line of jabs and jokes. It's sort of like that Waffle House employee, except with a pancake, not a chair. I think my favorite interaction really would be in our Curse of Strahd campaign, where me and my sister had my reborn paladin and her Dhampir rogue traveling together as part of their backstory. We were in a fight against a group of vampires trying to get a MacGuffin, being vague to avoid spoilers, thank you, a 5th level encounter that we had stumbled into at 3rd level. And she eventually manages to grab the MacGuffin, which would turn the ire of the vampires to her. She's lost family in the past and is scared to lose us too. So, she's tempted to stay and fight. But I know the MacGuffin needs to get back to the important NPC, so I turn and tell her to run, prompting her to grit her teeth and flee the house. It takes a round for the vampires to notice that she has it, at which point, I've started bolting down the stairs, leaving behind our other paladin, who's unconscious on the floor, and is thankfully ignored by the vamps now that the MacGuffin has been stolen. I reach the doorway of the house, and then lean across the table to turn my figurine around to face the house, announcing that I take a dodge action and end my turn, before looking at the other players and bellowing, "Hold door!" The look in my sister's eyes as she realized those vampires would have to exit that house over my dead body. Fortunately, the paladin managed to nat 20 his death save and get back up, then proceeded to stake 2 of the vampires from behind with a broken piece of crate. All before we divine smite the last 2 into oblivion. Where do I start? Usually at the beginning. I'll see myself out. My table is really great, and the players have amazing chemistry. I, playing a blue dragonborn, yes, I love blue dragonborn, had used my breath weapon within earshot of my partner's character, a Kenku, who noted to the DM that they recorded the sound to mimic using the Kenku mimicry feature. The next session during an encounter, they attempted to scare a coyote-like creature who was approaching their hiding spot by mimicking the breath weapon. When they did so, the DM said, "Humor me and roll Arcana." Nat 20. They managed to reproduce it, lightning and all. All of us in and out of character were astounded, but impressed. Shout out to my DM for making synergy possible. Hey, that's a good DM right there. This happened during my first campaign. I was playing the standard first character, human fighter. The other characters were a tiefling barbarian, a tiefling something, maybe a sorcerer, a dragonborn bard, and 2 cats standing on top of each other, hidden under a trench coat, playing as a rogue. We were all in a bar after multiple shenanigans, including me killing a lich at level 3 and me also trying to arrest the bard and rogue. The bar wasn't like your normal tavern. Oh no, sir. It only served drinks and nothing else. Except that it served any drink. So after the shenanigans that you would expect from this kind of thing, which were all great, and abusing the bar to get every single potion and oil possible, the bard asks for an angel to drink whole. The DM stares at him and counters that an angel isn't a drink. But the bard said he meant a fairy-style angel, which he could swallow whole, so it would technically be a drink. The DM gave in, and then had the orc bartender give him a fairy angel in a jar. After 2 minutes of struggling, since the angel was zipping around like mad and was very angry, the bard questioned if eating the angel was a good idea before the DM, in character, basically guilt-tripped him into drinking the angel. The barbarian points out that if he opens the lid of the jar, the angel will just fly out. I half-jokingly say, Why don't you swallow the jar then? The bard then goes, okay, I swallow the jar. The whole table goes quiet. Then the DM goes, are you sure you want to do that? You are literally swallowing a very angry angel. The bard replies that he will. The DM then tells him to roll a con save with a DC of 15 to see if he chokes. Of course, he rolls a nat 20. Even though the DM had a mask on, you could see the look of horror and pain in his eyes while everyone else laughs their asses off. This was then used as a response to whenever the bard asked why everyone thought he was dumb or crazy. I also conned the DM into letting me have +3 guns, but that's another story. In a campaign based off of the old podcast Old Gods of Appalachia's Barlow, Kentucky story, the party is a bunch of kids from a mining town in South Carolina, if I recall correctly. We have Eva, a 13-year-old human paladin of the Green Goddess, Amarel, a 13-year-old half-elf ranger, Esther, an 11-year-old halfling bard, and the newest addition being Lark, a 17-year-old fae whose class is probably something magical, and I don't remember. The pastor of the town was working with a demon to be in power in the town and have some powers to bolster his magic. The party got back from an adventure in the woods surrounding the town and saw the pastor walking into the woods with a hellhound that was made of a gemstone thing, and we try and fail to avoid him as we know he's bad news at this point. He stops and asks them what they're doing, and the party just says they were exploring. He then focuses on Lark and insinuates that he's going to kill her as she doesn't belong here. Eva immediately steps out in front of Lark, soon followed by Amarel and Esther. I won't let you hurt my friend, I say as Eva. The party hadn't known Lark for all that long, but goddammit, we're not going to let her die at the hands of some evil pastor. My favorite moment was after the first dungeon of the campaign I'm currently in, my character was badly injured and our group Dragonborn Paladin Seth Rakar gave me a healing potion to restore my health. Third dungeon we venture into and we fight a freaking spider mannequin. Ugh. Seth Rakar gets dropped to below half health, and when I got the chance to, I used Mage Hand to deliver to him a potion of greater healing, which healed him back to full. Silas said, you did the same for me back when we first met. It's time I returned the favor. He drank the potion and smiled as he told Silas something along the lines of, thank you greatly, my new friend. We should get a beer if we survive this. Then we proceeded to take that monster down before it ran too far away from us and escaped. Thing hit like a truck, and I'm sure you had some good beers after too. Context. I am the DM and was my first in-person campaign. Level 3 with half-orc fighter, variant human fighter, tiefling sorcerer, and high elf wizard. Okay, so my favorite moment was quite ridiculous, but the group was not a party yet. The tiefling, who was already drunk, tried to talk with the grumpy human who was just trying to enjoy his drink. The human, after several attempts from the tiefling, got pissed. I'd like to hit the tiefling. In-game or? Both, but right now, in the game. Rolls to hit and gets an 18, dealing 3 damage. The tiefling proceeds to cast Eldritch Blast. Oh, did I mention they were in a tavern? First 5 minutes of the campaign. The elf casts Create Bonfire on the bar counter and then leaves without paying after having robbed the human, setting a fire in the process. The half-orc is respectful, pays, and leaves, but when the human and tiefling leave, the human knocks out the tiefling, ties him up, and throws him behind the tavern. The human, elf, and half-orc go into an inn, and the elf says, where is that tiefling? He could be useful. Oh, I know where he is. He then goes back and grabs him, then locks him in one of the rooms. Morning comes, and they blackmail the tiefling into joining the party by threatening to beat him up and steal all of his stuff. That was how the party was formed. My players recently entered a coliseum to retrieve a plot item. For context, this kingdom runs on entertainment, and whoever wins the annual Crown Cup becomes the king. Our rogue was born here to a father that was very close friends with the current king. However, his parents were murdered, so someone else could get close to the king. He was unaware of this as he was taken away after the murder at 2 years of age. Fast forward 27 years, and this rogue comes back to this town unaware of his connections. But the current king recognizes him as his dad's spittin' image. Plot happens, parent killer gets killed by child, etc. Now, in the tournament, it's 3-man teams, so it's the rogue, an NPC barbarian werewolf, and the other player, who is also a king of another land but hiding this fact from the people in this land so he can compete. Fights happen, they get far and defeat the current king. He hails them. But as per laws, only the strongest takes the throne, so now the team must fight one another. The rogue readies himself, and the werebarb goes hybrid to give herself an edge. And then the other player, a paladin, steamrolls them in the first turn of initiative, giving them 0 chance. It was hilarious to me. But the paladin kept his blade at the downed rogue and told him, "Take your kingdom. I only came here to prove a point," before revealing his royalty to the people and former king. The rogue, being the last to go down, is in second place, therefore he is given the throne, making his father proud in the process. I saw it as the paladin didn't want another kingdom, but wanted to show that his nation with less political and military power was not weak, while also granting his friend a place his father could never reach. We had lost our rogue in a battle in our campaign. Me, being the paladin, I suggest we build a pyre and pray over him. We recover the supplies needed and place his body atop it. I pray to Bahamut and end the prayer with, "Please, guide my friend to his afterlife and bless his journey. I know we've squabbled, but I felt we became close towards the end." Our fighter looks up after I end my prayer. "He hated your guts. He told me himself." Being upset at him, I attempted to tackle him, and he moved out of the way. We basically beat the crap out of each other at a funeral. Bahamut comes to my mind and says, "Your prayer impressed me, my child, but your lack of decorum upsets me. Learn to control your temper before it's your undoing." Hey everybody, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and of course, leave a comment down below letting us know what your favorite moment was between your PCs. And of course, again, tell us what you want to see in the future here on MrRipper or on r/MrRipper. We love you all. Please be safe, happy, and healthy, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.